Hello, good evening, ma'am. How are you?
Good evening. Yes, I'm good. Thank you for asking. And how are you, ma'am?
All's well. Thank you so much. So, I think this is the first session that we have together on this platform. So, before
Yes.
we jump in, I would like to know a little about you. And I would also
Mm.
like to know what your aims and goals are through these one-on-one sessions so that whenever we have a session, we can kind of work towards it and kind of monitor the progress that we make. So, please.
Okay. I'm Mahalakshmi from Coimbatore, Tamil Nadu, and I worked as a lecturer and a banker for a couple of years. I
Wow.
did my master's in engineering in computer science department, and I'm mom to two kids. And I've started my YouTube channel recently.
Mm-hmm.
It is a type of collaboration with Clappingo. I have been doing conversations and having conversations with the Clappingo tutors. Okay, that's all, ma'am. Just to enhance my speaking skills, and I would like to know. I would like to correct myself. So I think that this is an opportunity for me to correct myself.
All right. Okay. So basically, your goal is to enhance your fluency, your enrich your vocabulary, enhance your fluency. Because now that you have taken up working on a platform like this for your YouTube and your personal purposes, you would want to keep it polished. Is that what you're saying? All,
Yes, ma'am. And
all.
I would like to know how to ask different questions and
Mhm.
how can I ask it politely. So these things I'm learning gradually, ma'am.
All right. Okay. So let's start with the area, the type of questions. But before we jump into it, what I'll be doing is I'll also be giving you certain activities which are not time bound. What this will do is this will help you gain that kind of confidence, help you in spoken English also. And we'll also do a lot of activities in these sessions which might seem very basic in nature, like, going through tongue twisters, which like funny activities. But the point is that these funny activities have a lot of benefit when it comes to cleaning your palate for English. Why we have to do that is because we come from different parts in the country. Our mother tongues are local languages that we speak. When we pronounce certain words in our local languages, our tongues roll in a very certain way. The
Mm,
same similar type of word, if you start pronouncing in English, the pronunciation varies because of that. And then we
mm,
want to work on the fluency and pronunciation factor. So for temporarily speaking, for that particular language, we have to get accustomed to how to speak that word. That's
mm.
why tongue twisters and activities like that are necessary. Second,
Okay.
are you doing certain activities to help you with spoken English?
No, ma'am, I'm doing everything on my own. Like, I'm taking notes from the videos and I is record myself. I do
Mhm.
shadowing and I write
Okay.
journaling and these type of works I'm doing regularly.
All right. Are you into listening to podcasts or any of those things, ma'am, by any chance?
Yes, ma'am, like TEDx speech, like interviews, celebrities interviews, and I do make notes of that speech after listening to that, and I write review and I
Mm-hmm.
note down the important vocabulary, phrasal verbs, and it's not necessary that I have to use all those in my conversation. Just
Mm-hmm.
to know the meaning or just to identify whether where to use. I'm doing all this, ma'am.
All right. Ma'am, what happens is since you already understand English, you have, graduated most of your subjects in English, masters and everything. You've worked in areas where English has been used. So understanding English is not your concern. That is, you're already doing that. Your concern is learning to speak in a smoother manner. If you listen to an American podcaster and you feel, I want to be as smooth as he or she is when they speak English, if that is your goal, listening to it will not satisfy that goal. That is my concern. If you only listen, you are only understanding. Until you pause that podcast and you start repeating it over and over again, where your pronunciation gets checked and you learn something new, because that will stick with you. Otherwise, what will happen is if you're keeping a note of all these things, you are just maintaining a huge bulk of notes on the side of your table.
Okay.
Might actually not go back to it. It's just human behavior if we have our personal lives. We really don't usually go back to notes and everything that we do. We end up
Mm,
keeping them on the side for one particular day. We might open up and, try to look for the meaning and start using that word. But
okay.
that is exactly not what happens. So,
Okay.
one thing would be you look for the meaning. And once you've understood that meaning, try to relate it to something very basic. Like look
Mm,
for a synonym.
Mm.
because there might be that word you are using it on a daily basis. Now, that synonym that you are already using on a daily basis, replace that with the polished version of that word. Because
Okay.
every time you would want to use that word, you will think of that, oh, okay, I have to use this instead of this. And
Mm.
it will enhance your vocabulary. So don't try to learn vocabulary.
Mm.
Enhance the vocabulary you already know.
Mm.
You will save up on a lot of time with this. Because if you think that, with your personal life, with this career, with YouTube and everything, if you try to sit down to learn, you might not actually be able to learn multiple words in a month. You
Mm.
out of 50 or 100 or 200 words, you might actually retain 10, 15 words. But
Okay.
how many times will you be using that is of importance.
Mm.
So that is how you can actually start using it. Then, since you already said you are into journaling and shadow work, so I think that helps you out a lot. And you're already in sync with the language, so that is helping you out as well. Right? So, what all hurdles? Have you tried public speaking before? I'll
No,
just
ma'am.
a minute, I'll
No.
just switch on the light. Please
Yes.
go on. It's just the
I
switch.
haven't tried so far, ma'am, public speaking, but I have a deep desire to do a public speaking, and I want to stand on a dais and have to speak in front of others.
Okay.
So I'm working on it, working upon on it. So I don't know when I'll get a chance. Before that, I have a plan to join in Toastmaster. So it would help me to do that, to achieve that.
Okay. Like you said, ma'am, I would just go back on to what you said. You were also a lecturer, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
So, which language were you teaching? Like, were you teaching in your local language or were you teaching in English?
Mom, it's a way back, mom, like before 10, 12 years. So that time, my first instruction was to please
Hmm.
teach them in my local language.
All right. Yeah.
Please don't expose your language to them because they may get intimidated if they come to know all these English terms. It was new to them.
All right.
So, yes, I used to take everything in
You
English
were not taught
in
in
my
English.
what, ma'am?
Uh, So basically, that factor of you speaking or addressing a large group of people in English was not done even through those lectures. So that you
Yes.
have done. That is what we are working on. So because I thought if we've already done that, we just want to enhance that. But that again, we've done only on subject knowledge and what we've
Yes,
known.
having said that, I did not take that as it is, ma'am. After finishing my portion, I used to take or I used to have a chat with in English with my
Okay.
students.
All
So
right.
I always asked them to speak in English, and I always asking them to converse in English.
All
So
right.
some or other day you have to speak in English. You can say that I don't need English for these 4 years, but when you go out, it is very crucial in your life. So I always pressure emphasizing the importance of English even in my college days, even when I was working.
That's important. That is important because it is one of the universal languages that anybody can understand, irrespective of the situation. So that is good. All right. What we can do is since we have to enhance our conversational skills or skills where you have to put out English mostly. So what we'll do is we'll try conversational activities for you
Okay.
because we cannot waste so much time on the basics because basics is something that is you are aware of. It is not like you're starting from ABCD, ma'am. So we'll start with conversational situations. Like hypothetically, if you are, having a conversation with a shopkeeper, what all can you ask? So what are the basics that you can converse about? So
Okay.
if you're doing this, we'll try to hypothetically put you into different situations. How will you behave this? And like, how will you be asking certain things? You said you wanted to be confident to ask certain things. So what kind of questions are you wanting to ask?
Ma'am, are you asking during conversation or in general, ma'am?
In general, because then our conversations will be inclusive of that so that we get over that fear also.
Okay. In
And
general, I don't find any hurdle, ma'am, because I know the area to ask and I know how to make it in good manner. But when it comes to online conversation like this, I'm doing that. I feel that I'm stuck in between.
Mhm. All right.
So I am working on it, ma'am. So I have to ask questions in a polite manner without affecting their nature, without interviewing their family situations. It should be in moderate, but I should get the proper answer. So I'm working upon it, ma'am.
All
But
right. So
when
what? Huh,
But when it comes to some stores or general conversation, we know the theme. So that is quite easy for me, ma'am.
all right, all right. What you can do is you can just see when you said you wanted to ask it politely. Now, exactly the activity we were discussing, how to replace words, is what you can do here. So, whatever
Okay.
you are wanting to ask, right? Imagine you want to ask a particular person or somebody that this is your question. So, write it down as to this is what you are trying to say. Look for politer words in the same on the same lines. Now, what
Mm.
this will do is you will have different versions of it. There might be people who would want you to be upfront about it and they will appreciate you being upfront about it and not sugarcoating things. But there might be a person who's much younger to you who would want the softer version
Yes.
because they feel that somebody is being too honest about it and I don't know how to react in a situation like that. The kids, or depending on the age group of the person that is approaching you. So, we'll have to work accordingly. So, this activity will help you realize the softest version to the harshest version.
Mm.
You will have variations of the same thing. Now, with this, what will happen is of the same thing, because that is what you're going to ask, you will have a lot of vocabulary to finish.
Mm.
Okay, I can use this also, this also, this also. And oh, this word has multiple meanings also. And I can use
Mm.
this word in multiple meanings and in different ways also. One quick question before we move on. Is there any chance you're translating while speaking from your local language? I hope that's not the case.
No, ma'am. No, actually, I feel it is happening or not. When someone is saying that, don't translate everything from your mother tongue. I never used that like that. I have never tried like that.
Yeah. Actually, ma'am, what happens is sometimes, even if it's not always, sometimes you are thinking or you are too busy about something, you are engrossed in something, and you say, I want to say this, but I'm not exactly getting the words. So then we try to translate. Now, the
Mm-hmm.
problem might not be in the English language. The problem is that your local language grammar might be very different from English language grammar. That
Okay.
translation may not be accurate. So sometimes, in some cases, that might also be a gap. Hence, I make sure that I kind of clear this doubt moving on.
Okay.
Otherwise, then they realize, oh, I already knew English, but my accuracy was the only cause of concern. So that
Mm-hmm.
is why this is an essential question. All right, so you can try that linking activity where you can replace the words and you can try to form questions also and make variations to the form of those questions, which will help you out. Right? With that, and what was the other question or other not hurdle exactly, but the something that you wanted to improve, except for spoken English?
Spoken English. Other than that, I have nothing, ma'am. As of now, only I'm focusing on this spoken English, having conversation with others. So other than that, I don't have anything. So when I sit in a calm place and write something, I come across so many idioms, so many vocabulary which starts from A to Z. But when it comes to speaking, I don't find it easily, ma'am. I'm not able to use it deliberately, and see, it's not easy for me to use all those words. I don't want to use all those words, but the appropriate words even are not getting, ma'am.
And that happens, ma'am, because you know what happens is because we might not face those exact situations we've learned the word from.
Mm.
And until we've understood in what sense those idioms and phrases can be used, and at the right moment, it does not strike us. And
Yes.
suddenly one day you will realize, oh, I could have used it then when this happened. So these things you have to stay in regular touch. If you are into the habit of journaling, I would suggest you start introducing idioms and phrases to express your emotions.
Mm.
This is where, if you start doing it for yourself on a smaller level, gradually it'll be inculcated in your vocabulary also. Because
Mm.
subconsciously, if you're writing it down on a regular basis, different versions, different emotions, different learnings on a daily basis, it won't be tough
Okay.
for you to speak about it.
Yes.
Suddenly, you won't even realize you're using it. So,
Yes.
rather than trying to make it like you're trying to learn something, just introduce it into your daily life. That's
Mm.
the smoothest way, because otherwise, if you consciously think, oh, I have to learn, that learning part will never kick in. Then you feel I have to do this, then I have to do this. You have personal obligations, you have your personal life also. So obviously, all those things take priority, and suddenly this thing it just keeps on getting pushed. So
Okay, ma'am.
yes, this happens. This is a very common thing. I think I would also do if my professional life work comes in. and suddenly I have to do a minute task like, oh, I want to try to do this, but that only keeps on getting pushed. So that is very natural, ma'am. That's absolutely all right. But for
Okay.
speaking activity, with all the shadow work and everything that you're doing, one more suggestion I can give, because it has helped a lot of other people also. Whenever you get time, it's not time bound. So it is not like you have to do it for 2 months, you have to do it for 3 weeks. No, it is absolutely up to your progress and up to your limit. What you have to do is you stand in front of any mirror where you can see your head till your shoulders. Right? I just want you to look into your own eyes. No pens, no papers, no phones. But what this will do is, I want you to start speaking to yourself. But the only clause is you can't cut eye contact.
Mm.
The reason is because when you put yourself into eye to eye situation, it's very awkward. Even if you're just staring at yourself, you will have multiple funny thoughts in your mind disturbing you and everything. But gradually, what will happen is you will get confidence. You will gain that confidence. Maybe you was talking for 30 seconds today, and
Mm.
then after a week, you realize you've crossed 2 minutes. The progress might be very slow in this case, but
Mm.
this progress will be very permanent, because the confidence you're gaining from here, if you can talk
Mm.
to yourself, maybe through YouTube and other platforms and other things that you're doing, you might have to collaborate with people. You will have to meet formal teams of people. You are widening it. You are collaborating with big creators and social institutions and movements. So you will have to meet a lot of people. This will give you the confidence to go onto the stage or talk to anybody. You have that will give you the confidence to sit straight, look into the other person's eyes, because sometimes people just stare at you and we look here and there when we are talking. So that thing will get out, because that innate fear of what will they think? What will happen if I pronounce a word incorrectly? Those thoughts will cease to exist through this
Mm.
activity. So this is what you can do. This will help you out. And our
Thank
time
you,
is
ma'am.
also up for this session, sadly. I hope I was able to touch the lines on what wherever you wanted to work, hopefully. And if we have more sessions together, I would love to work on that and give you more activities and help you out on that regard. But for now, I'll have to take leave off of you. Thank you so
Okay. Thank you so much for your valuable thought and valuable suggestions, and I'll follow that, ma'am. Even
much.
I'm going to start it from now.
Thank you.
Thank you for
I
that.
hope I was able to answer all the questions. I hope you have no other
Yes,
doubts.
I do still have so many questions to ask, and I'll do that later, ma'am. In our
Absolutely.
next conversation.
Done deal. Done. Make a note of all the questions. I would love to help you. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you, ma'am.